This man has a nuclear code. Look, that's the president of the United States. The man who's going to push back on Russia, China, North Korea. Are you kidding me? He can't even take a bite of his own salad.
It's officially election season, which means that, some will temporarily or maybe even permanently lose their minds and engage in the craziest doomsday scenarios to get people to vote for their guy. And it's truly a bipartisan tradition here in America these days. And I'm going to show you why in just a moment. We're going to revisit Eric Bolling. We're not done with him quite yet, but it is worth checking in with Trump opponent and former George W. Bush administration press secretary Nicole Wallace on MSNBC, who's allegedly concerned that Donald Trump is going to do away with her should he get reelected because he would dismantle the free press here in the US.
To a free press, to an informed citizenry, to an America where freedom and democracy endure, God bless America.
I've seen that toast a bunch of times, but it landed very differently this year because depending on what happens in November, 7 months from right now, this time next year, I might not be sitting here. There might not be a White House Correspondents' Dinner or a free press. While our democracy wouldn't exactly fall apart immediately without it, the real threat looms larger. A candidate with outward disdain, not just for a free press, but for all of our freedoms.
Trump has already been president once. We got to stop with this fear-mongering stuff, right? Because when you fear-monger in the way that Nicole Wallace just did, what ends up happening is the American public gets fatigued from the fear-mongering and they stop believing the fear-mongering. And then when Trump actually genuinely does abuse his power or when he does something wrong, you're less likely to believe the narrative coming from the media because they've been warning you about how he's going to dismantle every institution in American society from the moment that he decided he was going to run for president. And a lot of the stuff that they claimed was going to happen didn't come to fruition.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Anyway.
Pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our news coverage as well. TYT is facing challenges, guys, as the entire industry is. You know who could make the difference? You. If you hit the join button below, it's gonna make all the difference and keep us in business. We appreciate you, thank you. Look, I think that one's complicated because he had the establishment checking him a little bit. They had brakes in the car last time around. And he showed who he really was in doing the fake elector coup plot. But having said that, look, I have a different complaint about Nicole Wallace. And I agree with you. She's definitely being over the top, right? But she was also the communications director for George W. Bush. So she had such great respect for the free press that she would do crap like weapons of mass destruction. Oh my God, Iraq. We don't, if we don't attack Iraq, the next warning we might get is in a mushroom cloud. That's the kind of stuff that the Bush administration would say, and she would then go as their, communications director and be like, oh yeah, man, we're all about to die from Iraq. Everybody go report that. I have so much respect for the free press. Oh, torture, we're not doing torture, she said. We're doing enhanced interrogation.
I mean, to be fair to her, she is a trained expert in fear mongering.
That's exactly right. You work for the Bush administration, you work for Dick Cheney, and now all of a sudden you think there's fear mongering in DC?
Yeah.
Please spare me.
And look, Trump absolutely had this adversarial relationship with the press, but believe it or not, back in the day, that was the kind of relationship the press had with politicians. Politicians weren't supposed to be friendly to the press because the press was supposed to be holding politicians accountable. Not just politicians, but business interests as well. That used to be, the culture of journalism in America back in the day. And I get that now you literally have former political operatives working as journalists or anchors in cable television.
Journalists.
Right, so I also think that these two excerpts from an Atlantic piece that was written in December of 2023, it just articulates what I believe is the reality. You might disagree, but let me give you what I'm talking about here. So Trump claims to despise the journalists who cover him, calling them the enemy of the American people, suing them and threatening unspecified reprisals for their transgressions against him. But his narcissism craves their constant attention. And as president, he gave reporters far more access than his successor has, taking their late night phone calls and framing their cover stories in gold. Media organizations, including this one, The Atlantic, have warned for years that Trump is a danger to the democracy that makes journalism possible, and that vigorous press is essential to a free society. At the same time, the media became dependent on his vile words and scandalous deeds for their financial health, squeezing droplets of news from his every tweet, even if the public had nothing to learn. And by the way, the numbers do bear that out. As soon as Trump was elected out of office and they couldn't constantly talk about him in cable news, their ratings did decline. CNN lost 45% of its primetime audience. And then when he returned as a candidate and a defendant in all these criminal cases, the cable news ratings started to increase again. The worst fate for the press in a second Trump term would be neither legal jeopardy nor financial ruin. It would be irrelevance. And that was from the same Atlantic piece.
Yeah, so a couple of quick points, then we'll go back to making fun of bowling. Number one, Biden avoids any real interviews like the plague. He didn't even do the Super Bowl interview, which would have guaranteed him tens of millions of viewers, because he thought it wouldn't be softball enough. It doesn't get any more softball than the Super Bowl interview. So, oh my God, they respect the press so much. Do you? Do you? And look, anytime you attack mainstream media, they make it sound like you're against democracy. No, for example, I criticize mainstream media all the time because they're full of crap. They pretend that the politicians are noble and honorable and have a million lies. Oh, no, I'm not against democracy. You're against democracy. You're the ones that cover up all the bribery in Washington that have totally decimated our democracy. And one of our members, I do declare, that's his handle, their handle. Thank you. I love doing the show with members, and I love how smart our members are. He reminded me that remember when George H.W. Bush vomited on the Prime Minister of Japan, right? And I remember defending him back then and going, guys, what are we making a big deal out of this for, right? Like, so he threw up, he's human. Like that's not policy. I don't understand the criticism, right? And the same thing with eating of the salad. Like, oh God, look at the way he eats the salad. Brother, Biden's got 128 problems. The salad ain't one. But let's go back to it, Anna.
So the salad video is probably one of my favorite things Eric Bolling has ever done because of how hilarious it is. So let's take a look. You'll get what I'm talking about.
The man with the nuclear codes at his fingertips, grappling with a bowl of lettuce. He can barely feed himself. Let's watch this for a second. This isn't slowed down. This isn't edited. This is Joe trying to eat a bite of salad. Just watch. Just watch. This man has a nuclear code. Look. That's the president of the United States. The man who's going to push back on Russia, China, North Korea. Are you kidding me? He can't even take a bite of his own salad. This man's not suited for the job for 4 more minutes, let alone 4 more years.
Listen, there definitely are examples of Biden looking frail or looking confused on stage. Like those examples exist, and I'm not minimizing that. That though, not a good example. He's eating a salad like a normal human. Like, what did you want him to do? Like, scarf it down like a monster? He's slowly eating a salad while he's having a conversation with the lady sitting next to him. What?
You should eat it like a man, like this. No, he's not eating it like a man enough, okay? But my favorite was, you expect that guy who eats salad slowly to push back against North Korea? What is the logical connection there? By the way, speaking of pushing back against North Korea, did Donald Trump do that? No. What he said was, oh, Kim Jong-un wrote me a love letter. So he let him develop 6 to 8 nuclear weapons on his watch because Kim Jong-un wrote him a love letter. So you want to talk about not fit to be commander in chief? I ain't worried about the salad, brother, okay? I'm worried about Trump tossing it for North
come
Korean
on.
dictators.
Come on.
But he did.
Come on.
Go. Hey, if you're a Trump supporter, go look up how much Donald Trump literally loves the North Korean communist dictator.
I mean, he does say that. He says that they fell in love. So that was an accurate statement, Cenk.
There you go.
The tossing the salad, I mean, that does evoke certain imagery.
I don't know what
but
you're talking about.
Unnecessary.
I don't know
believe.
anything about that.
Unnecessary.
Okay, I do know
Don't
that
wanna think
Donald
about
Trump's
that.
a huge tosser, though.
Oh no, I don't want to think about that. No offense if you're into that, but the figures involved, we're not interested in that, right? We're not interested in that.
No, but I hear that salad eating is a problem. Look, Biden, we've pointed out so many different things that Biden has done wrong here, but all of those are related to him serving corporate interests. So the good folks at Newsmax are like, no, we love that. We love when they take the campaign contributions and do whatever our advertisers want, okay? So we're gonna have to criticize them on the frickin' salad.
You know what sounds really good right now? A nice wedge salad with blue cheese dressing.
Goddamn right, I almost had it last night. Now you're making me want it again. Okay, but how I eat it should be severely criticized.
Right, no, but you gotta eat it as aggressively as possible.
Yeah, and guys, if you're saying like, it looks like you're criticizing both sides, yes!
Yeah, both sides have lost their minds in different ways, right? And maybe to different extents in some cases, but like, everyone calm the hell down. And when you fearmonger about everything, people start to lose interest when there are sincere things to be concerned about. That's all I'm saying.
And to that point, same thing that we said about Trump, we say about Biden. You think Biden doesn't look old and frail? Guys, we all have eyes and ears. The propaganda people on TV can say anything they like. He's obviously old and frail. I don't need to see him eating a salad and have a play-by-play by Eric Bolling to tell me that he's old and frail. We already know that, brother. Move on. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.